Today, we're going to talk about creating a stellar client experience with our awesome sponsors, Liscio. We're super excited to have Allison, Chris, and Brian on with us. And we're going to be focusing on how to create an amazing client experience in your firms. And this is so important, especially now, right? With all the stuff going on in the world, we need to make it easy for our clients. They have enough to deal with everything else. Let's make their tax and accounting experience as seamless and as awesome as possible. So Liz.
Yes. You mean
yourself for those
I would love to. So my name is Liz Scott. Hello, friends. You already know me, but for those of you who don't, I have an accounting firm that is inside Oklahoma, but we serve not only Oklahoma clients, but also clients around the globe. And we focus on QuickBooks and e-commerce, and that means all of the ecosystem that revolves around that. So all of the apps. So the techie stuff is my friend. I love it. And Heather, you kind of do the same thing.
I do. I do exactly the same thing. I wear as many hats as Liz. So I have a firm, Satterley Training Consulting, which is primarily focused on helping others implement third-party apps and automate their processes using technology. And then I also have an accounting firm called Back Office Ally, where we help small businesses with their day-to-day accounting and their tax needs. So that's me, and I love it. I love helping clients. I love helping people in general. So that's what Happy Hour is all about, is helping our accounting friends learn about cool things like Liscio and the app ecosystem. So now that you guys you've been introduced to us, and we know most of you, I am so excited to introduce Allison Ball, the Director of Marketing and Influencer Strategy at Liscio, and the CPA and CEO, Chris Farnell from Liscio. Welcome. We're so happy you guys are here. It's kind of been the anticipation's been building up because we've known about this for a couple of months. And
we've been working on it for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Heather. Great to see you again, Liz.
And then we also have Brian Clare, our special guest, Brian Clare from Blueprint Accounting in Ottawa, Canada. Brian has this is the second time you've joined us on Happy Hour. So Welcome back. We're happy to see your face again. Always love to have you on the show, Brian.
Always happy to be here, representing the Great White North.
That's right. There's no toque today. Usually you have your toque on.
I really want to sing the refrain from Bob and Doug McKenzie, but I'm not going to.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do have a toque on my desk, but just not for today, I guess.
All right. I think actually I have a toque on my desk too, and I have socks. I have swag socks on my desk. Does anybody else? I don't know why I have swag socks. I think I was cleaning out one of the bags for my conferences and I found a pair. All right, so excited. Let's go ahead and get this started. Brian's actually going to be talking to us today. He just recently implemented Liscio, and he's going to be sharing how his experience has been and the amazing response that he's been getting from his clients, and how that has helped his clients' experience at Blueprint Accounting. So super excited for that.
Yeah, thanks for your insight. We're excited about that, Brian. And then we also want to thank our Champagne sponsor of 2020, Right Networks. And so many of you are already familiar with Right Networks. They are the leading cloud hosting provider for accounting professionals when it comes to QuickBooks Desktop and many other apps that are associated. So we are thankful.
We are thankful, and they've been such an amazing Champagne sponsor in 2020. So huge thank you to them. We've done a lot of fun things with them this year. 3-part series. We did the kickoff actually last year. So it's been wonderful. Huge thank you to them. And then our agenda today, we've already welcomed you, so we can cross that off our list. And we're going to dive right into how to create a stellar client experience. And we're going to talk about what is exactly a customer journey. I think this is a place where a lot of accountants don't really stop to think about what is the experience that their clients are having with their firm and how they can improve that, and also how that really reflects on the firm as a whole and helps to attract clients to your firm, and how it can actually also work against you if you don't get it quite right. So we're going to do that first. Then we're going to hear from Brian as part of that conversation, raise a glass and drink our yummy drink. And then we're going to go into a demo of Liscio, which is super exciting, and learn more about that. You ready?
I am all there.
Fantastic. So huge thank you to Liscio for sponsoring today's episode. Let's go ahead and get started on focusing on the client experience. So
this is how I start my day.
With the coffee?
Yeah. This is the first trip that I make, in my huge commute from downstairs to upstairs. On the way, I pass the coffee maker.
Right. And no, definitely. I that's exactly what I do as well. As soon as I get up, I got to go and make my coffee for sure. And I love this image that you got, Liz.
Well, you know what it made me think of is it kind of has that warm, fuzzy feeling. And that's the same thing that we want to pass on to our clients. Because I know I've said this before, but I don't think our clients realize how much we genuinely care and how much we think about them at, 1 a.m. and after. So I think that we're constantly focused on thinking about them, but we want to make sure that we create an experience that lets them know that we're concerned and thinking. So something that collaborates helps to have a better experience.
Definitely. And we definitely want our clients to have that warm, fuzzy experience. In our industry, right? They're coming to us to feel safe. That's why they hire us, is they want to be able to sleep at night, and they want to partner with somebody that makes them feel like things are under control, they're protected, and they're safe, and they know what's going on in their company, right?
And that it's easy. It doesn't, we don't want it to be hard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So definitely love this image because it does have that warm fuzziness that we really want to focus on. So Liz, I totally just got ahead of myself there. So Liz, we were talking about this when we were putting this presentation together, and we were talking about the bridge. Can you kind of take us out and talk to us about what we mean by you as the accounting professional being the bridge with your clients?
I think that it can be something that is translated over several different scenarios. So one of them can be they don't understand the accounting world. So being able to unveil that to them so that way they have some eye-opening experiences with their own financials and growth. But it's also this idea of how do you share data with them? How do you collaborate with them? How do you talk to them? Are they texting you? I have my cell phone here, and are they sending you text messages? Are they emailing you? It's like, how do you communicate with them and bring them along onto this path? And so sometimes we are that bridge that helps them to understand that financial world into their entrepreneurial brains, where they're running 1,000 miles a minute. And then, there's financials. So sometimes we have to pull that in.
Absolutely. And I love this image because it shows a really rocky terrain. And I think our clients feel that way about their businesses and staying compliant and knowing kind of which way to turn. And I also love this image that you picked, Liz, because it also shows that smooth road that's just kind of winding through, and it just looks, it looks safe, and it also looks fun. I think that, anytime you can mix safety with fun is a good thing. And I think that I know I strive to do that in my life. So
I love this picture.
You've got to tell them the story about this picture, Liz.
This guy looks like my husband. Like, he walked in and he saw this on the slide and he goes, "How'd you get a picture of me?" "Oh, wait." And so this is his COVID look right here. You're looking at it. So he's got his toque on, and unshaved November has lasted all year. But, you think about our clients and how they are in their home life, and a lot of them are in home and still out and about. they still want to be able to be connected with us. And so, understanding our clients helps us to understand what they want. And they want some of the same things that we want in our life, some of the same conveniences that we want. We want to be able to have mobile, and many of us want to have it now or yesterday. And so we really want to try and understand where they're at, so that way we can meet their expectations.
I think as an industry as a whole, I mean, we're changing this, but I think as an industry, and feel free to chime in, Allison and Chris and Brian, because I know you guys have thoughts on this too, is that there's always been a way that accounting firms operate, right? It's always like, we're the compliance, the compliance role for our clients. And so we spend a lot of time telling them what they need to do, right? That's kind of why they hire us. So when we tell them what it is that they have to do, a lot of it is in the delivery of how we get that message across to them, right? And when you have clients, like I had a client that I recently onboarded into Back Office Ally, and I onboarded her. And part of my onboarding process is I always send a questionnaire out, and the questionnaire asks them information about their business. And so she sent me an email back, and she said, after I sent that email to her asking her to fill it out, and when she fills it out, does all kinds of fun, automated things. And she said, she goes, I would never ask my customers to fill out all this information themselves. She's like, I would expect you to get on the phone with me and fill it out. And it was interesting because I hadn't thought of that. Like, I had thought of in my own firm how I thought the experience should look for them. And I'm like, okay, well, if they fill it out, it's going to be completely accurate. It's going to be more efficient, And to her, it was like I had just completely made it impersonal, right? I said, okay, now you're my client.
It's a mindset.
Fill it out.
Yeah, it's a mindset thing, Heather. So we're going to get into that in our portion, but I think as people, as you're walking through what clients want, we have to just kind of think about, like, where do we meet them where they're at?
Right.
And your story is optimized perfectly for your flow so that you can down the line make it really good for them, and maybe not optimal for where the client was at the time. And that's like the challenge with like tax organizers and things. I don't fill out tax organizers. I'm like, hell no. Let's have a conversation, right? Because that's where I'm at. I'm not at researching, and because I'm like, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well do my own tax return. That's kind of where my client side brain goes. So yeah, so the mindset and the technology, they need to go together.
100%. 100%. And the learning there was that it is about the experience and how it's perceived. And, so now the way that I made a small change on that was to make it more personal by saying that was an option for them. Right. Yeah. So you can either fill it out yourself, but if not, click here to make an appointment. We'll do it together. And now it's personal. Now we're in this journey together. And so I think it's really important to understand, just like you said, Allison, meet them where they are, right? Yeah. Make sure that you're on the same page for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the 5 stages of the customer journey and how your clients actually came to you and made the decision to work with you, right? So we have 5 stages. The awareness stage, which is basically where a client realizes, hey, I need someone to help me with this tax return because I don't know what I'm doing. Or I need someone to help me with my bookkeeping because I messed it all up, or whatever it is. And then they start to search for it. And so they're looking at certain things. Most people at this point are either asking a friend or they're going out to the Googler, right? They're going out to the Googler and they're saying, who is it that looks like they're relatable to me? And they're thinking of who it is. They're thinking of you as a persona, of somebody that they want to work with and who that person is. And so you need to make sure that your marketing, and we'll talk about this in a minute, and your marketing is basically reaching the clients that you want to work with. So you also have to create a persona for the different types of clients that you want to work with in your practice. And that's a really important piece that I think a lot of us don't think about doing, is thinking about what are the clients that we love working with, and when the phone rings, we can't wait to answer it and help them? And who do they, what are their interests? Where do they hang out? Those types of things. And that's marketing. And we're not talking about marketing today, but that's basically the search part comes back to your marketing, right?
I kind of think that we are a little bit talking about, in some realm, this is marketing, because this is part of the experience. And I'm going to share what my experience that I've had with an accounting firm, bookkeeping firm, with my peers. If I was a small business owner looking for somebody, I would want to share that experience. So it is a bit of marketing. It is a bit of, how do you relate to your clients, and how relatable are you? Are you human?
Right.
And get it?
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I think we think about it, and we always go back to, the 3 R's. But everybody's in the business of building a business, and the client experience is so important for retention, which you got to hold the clients you want. Certainly, it has to do with referrals. We're going out to the Googler, right? So the reviews out there and the referrals. I think most businesses grow from referral anyway, right? So all those things are tied perfectly into client experience.
100%. Yeah. Then we have. Oh, go ahead, Liz. Sorry.
Oh no. I keep going.
Well, I would say then you have the consideration, right? So they do the search, they find that person that they feel like they really want to work with, and they make that purchase. So they come to your firm. And then at that point where they actually make that decision, after you've gone through that sales process, you've figured out who each other are, how you perceive you're going to work together, the experience is where you can really shine. And that's where we're focusing on today, is how do you create an experience that not only meets the expectations that your clients have, but exceeds them. And it makes it easier for you to work with the client, because if you're getting what you need, you're going to provide better service. You're going to provide, timelier service, and your clients are going to feel safe. And remember, at the very beginning, we were talking about that's our whole goal, is to make them feel safe and feel like they're, that you've got things under control.
Yeah, and you want to be part of the team. So I think that's part of this whole experience. You don't want to be segmented over here. You want to be at the virtual table with them, building their brand, building all of the things that they're trying to accomplish together.
Definitely. So taking a minute, and right now is the perfect time to do this, is looking at what your current journey looks like. So going back to those 5 stages and understanding, how do your clients perceive what's going on in your firm, and how can you make it better? So looking at your website and your sales process, I just shared where I had I wouldn't say it was an epic fail, but it was definitely a learning experience for me, where I realized that, automate can sometimes work against you. Looking at your onboarding process, how you're communicating with your clients, identifying where you feel frustration when you're communicating with your clients, and then asking your clients where they feel frustration when they're communicating with you, like learning to understand that. And a great way to do that is surveys. If you haven't done surveys and with your clients, satisfaction surveys, that's a really great way to find out how they feel about your current process and how they feel about the way that you're communicating with them. And that goes right into the feedback loop, right?
I agree. And I think that, this whole thing that we're talking about is brand awareness and brand, being cohesive. And if you want to share with your client that you care, one of the things that you're doing is also making it easy for them to communicate with you, easy for them to bring you to their virtual table, easy for them to, have this process with you that is ongoing. So, you want it to be across all pieces of your communication.
Right. So going back to understanding your customers, and I mentioned the idea of doing a persona. In the chat, if you've done a persona in your firm where you've actually thought about what are the clients that I want to work with, go ahead and just let us know if you've done that, because I'm curious to see how many people have actually gone through that exercise, and it's very eye-opening to really to do that. But what you're looking for is you're looking to understand your perfect client, right? You're looking to understand their likes, their dislikes, where they hang out, how they want to engage with you, and also where they need help so that you can provide exceptional service and really kind of, make them feel that warm and fuzzy feeling, right? So the steps to complete or prepare a client persona is you want to create persona groups. So we work with different types of clients in different types of capacities, right? So it could be individual tax client, it could be a small business owner, it could be mid-market companies, it could be that you're working with you're very specialized. You want to give that person a name. And the reason you want to give them a name is you want to connect to them, right? You want to connect to them and you want to feel like, I know who this person is. So you can give them a name like, Joy, right? And then when you start talking about your customers, you can talk about Joy and it makes it a more personal thing, especially when you're working with your team on these client personas, because they really do become a real fictitious person.
Well, this is interesting because, I think of myself as thinking outside the box, but I don't know that I've ever given that persona a name. I know who I like to work with. I know the type of clients that I work well with. And, I've along the way fired different types of clients that I thought these aren't the kind of people that I work well with. We don't communicate well. But it's interesting to take it to a whole nother level of giving that person a name, giving them, some personality and saying, what is it that you really like to work with? And then, I would even say that this kind of flows back to the whole brand awareness piece. Who is it that you want to work with? What type of people?
One benefit of doing this is that when you go through the exercise of creating the client personas, you recognize them when you meet them. So when you're sitting in that sales call and you're meeting with a client for the first time, if you've taken the time to define these different personas, and you can have several of them in your firm, and you should have several, you're gonna recognize them when you meet them, and you're gonna know that's a client that you want to really pursue. You want to look at their roles and responsibilities. What's important to them? What are they responsible for doing? And really understand the things that keep them up at night, the things that they're really proud of, and their goals. Their demographics, their age, education, and family status. That's going to help you to understand how to relate to them, right? Goals and things they need to complete. Their physical, social, and technological environment. If you are going after a certain demographic that is not typically tech savvy, that's important information, right? If you're going after clients that are tech savvy, that's also really important information, because you want to make sure that if you're going after clients that expect your firm to be state of the art, you better be state of the art, right? And make sure.
Well, I definitely, because I'm gonna throw in here that one of our friends here, Peter. Hi, Peter. And one of the things that he just said was that he likes working with developers. And so what you just said resonates really, really well. If you're working with developers, you need to be on top of technology, because that's going to be one of those things you're going to pay attention to.
And then you can even add a picture that helps to visualize it. So definitely can do that.
So thinking about guiding your clients here, I like this compass, because you're really pointing them in the right direction and getting them guided in the way that they should be going. And so picking the right technology, this is on both ends. So what are you using in order to be able to create that client experience, that human experience, and then being able to guide them as needed?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, clients want you to be in control, right? They want you to have a plan. They want you to have an organized system of communicating with them. So definitely super important, and understanding who they are and how they want to communicate is definitely vital. So what are accountants looking for, Liz?
Oh, I like this. So this one we can all speak to, right? Because we know exactly what we want. We want somewhere to store all of our digital files, because I dare anybody to say that they actually have a filing cabinet inside their offices anymore. We tried to ditch those quite a while ago. We want to be virtual. We want to be able to access data. One of the things that I do is I do not do tax. So I'm constantly sharing information back and forth between the client and the tax accountant. So, I need to be able to share data safely, securely, and have it accessible really easily. So that's my big thing. Whenever I'm thinking about just today, 2 different instances happened where I needed to be able to send a digital file over to a tax accountant. And so I don't want to do that in my email. I don't feel like that's secure. Like, what if, I feel like in our industry, we are more at target risk than some of the other industries out there. We have accounting or bookkeeping tied to our brand name. And so I think that does make us more vulnerable. So we've got to be very careful to not share any type of sensitive client data or allow ourselves to be hacked. So I think that number 1 and number 2 go hand in hand to me. And that thing about eliminating the wasted step in patches, oh my gosh, I want to be able to have my documents in one place. I want to be able to not have a really difficult client portal experience for my clients. And then I don't want to then have to move all these documents around. So I really like being able to have a singular experience. So that's my big thing. And that thing with being able to have a place for client communication, I know many of us here have wanted to get out of email. And so looking for different alternatives. And for myself, there was, an alternative that I use, and Slack is that tool. And my thing is that Slack isn't really designed for external communication. It's really designed for internal communication. So I find over and over again that I have these barriers whenever I'm trying to have an experience with my client that is the optimum way that I want to work with them.
And Liz, can I just add one more to this fantastic list?
Yeah.
I think it's also important to choose one that makes you look good as an accounting firm, like as a modern, forward-looking, friendly, easy to work with, like accommodating accountant or bookkeeper or tax preparer. Because you could have all of these different things. You could actually create this, but have it be very ugly or make you look very rigid. And so I think you want one that makes you look like a really awesome firm and really friendly to work with.
Agreed. Yep.
Definitely.
You want to be the professional and you want to be guiding them.
Definitely. So Brian Clare, it's time for us to put you in front and center.
Pick your brain.
That's right.
Let's do this.
Drum roll.
So Brian, you just recently implemented Liscio in your firm, Blueprint Accounting.
Yep.
Can you talk to us a little bit about why you chose Liscio?
I think when was it, Chris, that we first started chatting? Was it back in the summer, maybe?
I had less gray hair, I think it's been a while.
Yeah. We kind of we were looking around for different options because we were previously on ShareFile, which I'm sure a lot of accountants use. It's okay, it works. It does what it needs to. It has the files on there, but we wanted more, right? So we started kind of looking around, and being a part of Accounting Salon, we got to see Liscio, pretty up close and personal. So I found it really interesting, and that's kind of where I reached out to Chris and was like, let's get this going. Let's talk about it a bit more. So we decided pretty quickly, I would say, to just switch off ShareFile and switch onto Liscio, and it just made sense. I mean, you can see the 6 kind of points there of the things that we use Liscio for, and it really did cross off all these things that we needed, right? So it has file storage, it's secure. We can do e-signatures, which I use like crazy now. Task management, we can assign tasks to clients. That works extremely well. There's templates that we can obviously create for different, say, e-documents that we're using. That's what we've been using it for lately. Recurring tasks, of course, we love those. And then just the overall implementation was really, really straightforward, to be quite honest. It did take us a month, but that was more on our side. Okay, I just want to make sure people know that. So it was very quick from the Liscio side. It was just on our side that we were just very slow, to be quite honest. So.
And you know, I'm gonna throw something in here because I have to share an experience that happened this week. And so it was my experience with needing to share a document back and forth with Chris. And he was like, here, let me give you some tasks to do inside of Liscio. And I loved it. So I had a list of items that I had to do in order to complete that task. And it was very simple to use. And then I was able to then go back later if I needed to refer to anything that was in my list of tasks to do. But it was a very easy experience.
Love assigning work to you, Liz. You know, it was very good for me too.
You make a great client. You did all the tasks, so you were a really good client.
Well, it was fun. It was fun to go through there, and it wasn't hard. It was easy, and it was the thing that I enjoyed about it is it gave it to me in bite-sized pieces. And I'm always saying people need to have stages. They don't need you to just throw up all over them. So give it to me in pieces and then make me have some ownership in it and some, hey, I did that. I won. And then give me another piece and I'll see if I can conquer that too. And so it just kept on having little small wins. And I really love, yes, Peter, I loved having that experience where I was able to go in and have these little victories. And one of them was, okay, once I had finished a piece, then it was like, okay, well, now go download the app. Well, okay. And so I think sometimes our clients don't really know what to do or how to get started. And so they do need some of those little bite size, here's a task. And then, then give them the next piece.
Yeah, the cool thing, the cool little thing that I don't know if Chris was going to cover it, I might be stealing his thunder, but Liscio, the user interface was designed by the same people that did Airbnb. So if you go to the Airbnb website and it's so easy and you navigate around and you can just find what you need, Liscio, the designers took the same kind of thing about how can we make these interactions very simple and very delightful. So it's like, it's a really cool thing. And we don't really talk about that very often, do we, Chris? But we should talk about it more because it's good design.
It's the key, really. The clients, our brains, we learned a lot by working with them, but we all follow patterns. We have happy patterns in our lives that we want to continue to carry on. And when we go off of that, we have an unhappy pattern. People tend to just drift away and let something go, and maybe we don't get a response sometimes. So we know that UX is, user experience is just so important. So absolutely a priority.
So I have another question for Brian. Brian, how was your client reaction when you were rolling Liscio out? How did that go? How did your clients respond to it?
I think initially they were like, oh, another app? Come on, what is this? But honestly, like the engagement's been really strong. If I compare it to when we rolled out ShareFile, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe, it wasn't used as much right away, right? So clients started using it more. To Liz's point, the task assignment, it works really well. Clients are actually doing the tasks. We get the notifications back when they're done it. And just the fact that they're actually going in and like finding their own files, for example. And I even had a client comment on that yesterday, actually saying, oh, yeah, I went in and I found my own file. You shared it. Yes, Chris is like, perfect, yes. So like just me being able to say, here's a file, it's sitting here. We've put the tags in. So that's something that works really well as well. Is like you can tag files with different naming conventions. So, we put things like corporate taxes and corporation documents, whatever, like you can create whatever you want realistically. And then assigning the month and the year to the file. They can easily just click through and figure out, okay, I need my incorporation documents and it was in 2017 or something. They can just go do that and it's self-service, which saves me a ton of time and my team a ton of time. We don't have to email that back. They don't have to send a request. They can just go find it in Liscio.
I think that's one of the most valuable thing to an accounting firm is having your clients be able to self-serve on the documents they need. It's such a huge time saver for us, for sure.
So what about the firm view, just real quick? Brian, do you mind telling about what, because I think the firm view, the ability to see across clients instead of data being siloed in people's inboxes, I think, is a really big deal. Did your firm find that as well?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if we're different than most firms, but we assign one person to a client. So not as much as like another person might go in, but if there's someone coming in to help, like, so we've just implemented this new onboarding lead person who will be onboarding a client, and then they hand off to the bookkeeper, right? So that, having a firm view like that works perfectly for that scenario, because now this onboarding lead is working with the client initially. They haven't been introduced to the bookkeeper yet. The client hasn't. They're taking all these notes, they're sharing files, assigning tasks, getting messages, and it's all getting assigned directly into that client account as well as the person, the contact. But now when they actually hand off to the bookkeeper can now go into Liscio and see all that context about the client, right? We obviously do a handoff between the onboarding lead to the bookkeeper, but at least it's all there. So if they have a question, they don't necessarily have to go directly back to the onboarding lead or even me or my business partner as the salesman. They can just go into Liscio and see all that context right there and understand kind of what's been going on and the history with the client.
Nice. No, that sounds great. I think we were just going to wrap up here before we hand things over to Allison and Chris and do our toast.
But let me.
I'm going to let you.
Can I?
I'm going to let you. I was just kind of
Okay,
segueing in because you were busy typing away. So.
Okay, well, we have so many people sharing all of their amazing abilities that I can't help it. I mean, I'm like wowed by all of these musicians here and the things that they're doing, that I like my friends. But this right here brings it home for me. So whenever I'm thinking about how much I'm going to pay for something, so let's take us, the accountant bookkeepers, out of it. Whenever I'm thinking about I'm going out into the world, I'm going to pay for something, I have to think about, am I willing to pay the premium? And sometimes it's about the experience. I want the best experience possible. And so I am willing to pay for that. Make my life easier, please. And so I don't want to go to the cheapest of the cheap. I don't want clunky. I don't want that bad experience. I don't want to have to bring in my own bags. I want to be able to have that nice experience, and I'm willing to pay for it. And so are our clients. And so, I think that sometimes as a whole, we undervalue ourselves. And so it's really easy to put this price tag on us, the human, and that's not getting the point across. The point is, it's the experience, it's the things that are the deliverables. And so part of this experience is being able to say, I'm going to give you more, and here's the way that I'm going to do it. And the way that I'm going to do it is going to create this experience where that person's going to have, what we used to call water cooler talk or outside the gas station talk. But, this conversations that happen between these different business owners where they share how their experience was with you. Hey, they might be a little bit more, but they're worth it. I mean, that's a common phrase, y'all.
100%. 100%. So, Allison and Chris, we're introducing you again because you're both so amazing. So super excited. Let's go ahead and raise our toast. We have an amazing drink and I'm so excited. And I love the name of it. I love the name of it.
Yeah, Liscio Love Letters.
This is so
And
Allison.
our
this
newsletter is called Letters from Liscio. So when we found Liscio Love Letters and it had champagne in it, I was like, I'm in. So,
yes,
this is what do you guys think? Did you think it was good? Did you try it?
Well, I like bitters and I like lemon, and I am a whiskey drinker. So
okay, so
Yep.
Good. All right. So how does this work? Do we just toast and drink, what do we do?
Yes, we toast, drink, and you take over.
Okay, so I have a special toast. I want to just toast to everybody who helped their clients in 2020 through the longest tax season ever and literally helped their clients stay in business or repurpose and pivot. And my heart just goes out to all of you for all the hard work, and thank you so much. So
beautiful toast.
You're here.
Here.
Yeah.
That's a tasty beverage.
It is. And you can find this recipe on our website, if you want to find it later, it is amazing, and I strongly recommend it. So
and I highly recommend that you get the champagne. It says it's optional. So good with the champagne in there. Okay, so we're going to go in quickly. I have a few slides that I want to share with you on how to think about where you're currently at with delighting your clients. So if we could go to the next slide, Heather. And I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. But what I want to find out first of all for you is just to kind of put an idea in your mind that you have your perfect day. And you have everything you need to do your job. Your clients are sending things into you. You don't have to chase them. They're just giving you what you need and you want. And your staff can see across all of the clients, just at a glance, and your firm is growing. So just kind of like imagine what that would feel like if you had all the right systems and the right mindset in place to do that. So this is the destination. So let's go to the next slide. So it kind of people might be going, oh yeah, right. Well, it actually isn't too good to be true, because if you make it, we've been talking all along about the client experience, but if you make it easy for your clients to do business with you, then they actually do what you need them to do, and then you get that perfect day. So everything really just falls into place. So let's go to the next slide. So it's all about ease and simplicity. And we can literally go to that next slide, because keep going, because what's happening right now is there's a key thing that's happening, and this has been happening for a while, but where clients are working has shifted significantly. So, and COVID has just made it even more of a shift, because clients are now working at home on their kitchen table instead of going into their offices, or they're driving around, but the point is that people want to do their business out of their phone. They don't actually want to be stuck to the desk or the scanner or whatever, and having to log into portals and things, which is a very poor experience on a mobile phone. So you want to think about where your clients are, and you want to meet them where they are and do it in a very seamless way. So let's go to the next slide. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quickly. So the first diagnostic, I've got 4 diagnostic questions to ask yourself. The first one is the software we ask our clients to use easy for them to use? Now, the way that you know that it's not easy is if your clients have to call you to log in. I mean, if you're having to do tech support for the things that you're asking them to use, that's not easy. And Heather, you said you earlier on today, you had sent this, this self fill-in thing for clients. I think in my mind, it's the tax organizer. And I honestly would rather poke out my eye with a sharp stick than fill out a tax organizer, because I don't have all of my documents together to fill in that thing. So I have to keep coming back to it. I have to keep logging into the portal. It's really nasty. So that's not easy. It's just not easy. It's just not delightful. So that's the first question. Is it easy? So let's go to the second. The next slide, please. So the second one is, when we look at our past season, how many of our clients met our deadlines and requests for documents? Now, if you say 100%, great. You know what? Then you score really high on this one. Most people say, nope, I got my documents late. I had to chase clients. I had to repeatedly ask for them. Sometimes they sent them to me in a weird format, like they texted me a photo on their phone, and I had to do arts and crafts to get it into my portal. To be usable document. But the point is that if you don't have 100% of your clients meeting your deadlines and your requests for documents, then you've got an issue. So should be a little red flag for you. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the third one is, when we think about how clients are asking us questions, or we provide information that they need, how many different ways do they have to communicate with us? Now, this is the multi-platform, multi-channel nightmare that a lot of you are under. And it has to do with the fact that email is really not a great way to, so if we go to this very next slide, I have a graphic to show you. So when we think about client experience 1.0 is very restrictive. Clients have very few ways of contacting you. So there's email, phone, fax, snail mail, they can come in person. It's very, very restrictive. And you think about those firms as the kind of traditional firms that a lot of you came out of because you didn't like the restrictive experience. Now, the tech forward firms swung a little bit too far, and those are client experience 1.5. And the reason we're saying it's 1.5 is it's better than 1, but you're not at the 2.0 level yet. And the reason you're not is that you're not optimizing. Like, you're giving them too many ways and too many systems to deal with. And what happens is there's a lot of confusion for the staff, there's confusion for the clients, and there's a lot of wasted time. So when you think about all these different places that you might have to look for data that your clients may or may not have sent you, or they get confused about where you asked for the data, or they didn't see it because it fell down. Your yeah, Elizabeth saying client texting me is horrible. Yeah, so texting on your cell phone is a it's a symptom. It's a symptom that you don't have the optimal experience because you've leaned too far for your clients, and so it's hurting the firm and it's hurting the clients. Now, when you talk about client experience 2.0, that's what Brian was explaining to us. It's clients have one place. Firms will experience less email. You still will probably be talking to them on the phone. You'll still probably get some documents via snail mail or via, FedEx might arrive, whatever. That's okay. It's not all or nothing. It's just you're going to significantly streamline. And most of the firms experience it in a term of like being really, they just feel really relieved. But the clients love it too. So let's go to the next one. And this is the fourth one, and this is really important for everyone. Have you ever had a really scary cybersecurity moment? And I was talking with, I don't think actually he'd mind. I was talking with Andrew Wall yesterday, and he, because I was on Friday Night Live with them, and he shared with me that they had accidentally sent the wrong tax return to the wrong client. And my partner Keith Newman on the other side of this wall actually got somebody's tax return named Keith Newman, and it wasn't even from his accountant. Like, it was like this guy had made up he literally had made up a Gmail account, keith.newman@gmail.com, and that's Keith's Newman. That's my Keith, not the other Keith. So it's so easy to do, right? So you just want to be thinking about, are the systems allowing you to do that? And if you're relying on email as your primary method, then even with a portal, because the funny thing is that this tax return was encrypted, but then for Keith, but then the password came in the next email. So like the guy sent Keith Newman's tax return to Keith Newman, but the wrong Keith Newman. So these things can happen, right? So you want to make sure that the systems that you're using are easy, but also secure. So let's go to the next slide. And, oh, I'm sorry, I did have 5 questions. And this one goes directly to the experience that you are offering your clients face-to-face. When they call or they talk to you, do you have your information that you need at your fingertips? And if it's siloed in inboxes across staff and you're not in the same office anymore and you can't just stand up and ask, it really hurts your client experience. So that's why I was asking Brian about that firm view. Was does his staff use that? Because if you're sharing clients, you want to be sure that you're able to, to answer questions regardless of whether that staff person is available or not. Okay, I think I'm just about done with my slides here, and then we'll give you guys a quick demo. So this is really client experience 2.0. It's in a nutshell, it's really fitting seamlessly and securely into your clients' lives. And at the same time, it simplifies and streamlines your own work life so that you can give better client experience. So last slide, we have an ebook that if you want to download, we can put that link in the chat. But it's designed to be a conversation guide with you and your staff, and to kind of figure out what went well, and then what areas you might need to dig into, and how to learn more about client experience 2.0. So I tried to get through that quickly so that we could have Chris show you, Chris Farrell, our CEO and the co-founder, have him show you the actual experience of what it would be like to send something to a client.
Now let's
Take it away.
Yeah, that sounds great. And let's get that link in the chat too, because that ebook is fantastic. So, but I'll take a couple minutes to go through and show you really kind of the app in motion. And Allison had a lot of great points there. What we know is clients want easy, and if clients get easy, our lives in the profession get a lot easier too. So that's kind of the big deal. And what I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and you're going to see my phone live. And a couple of things. I'd like to not just show you product, but I'd also like to, let's see, is that coming through? You see my phone okay? Fantastic. I'd like to give you some insights. Some insights about how we think, how you can expect to work with us. I think Brian gave you a sense for the fact that we're pretty responsive to our clients. And a big secret to client experience is to really get as close to everyone as you can, right? Client experience is really close to the ground kind of work. You can't just have a theory and just put a product out there and never support it, right? So a lot of what you're going to see today is born out of the fact that when you have a client who can't use your technology, right? If your client can't use Liscio, they can call us, okay? So we learned so much going through COVID and everything. A lot of people who are for the very first time, end users for the very first time, your clients, for example, who have never, ever done business without maybe your being there. We got the chance to meet them. We got a chance to see how they work and how they work digitally. And it wasn't always easy, but I hope you see the fruits of that as we go through this. So the first thing really is, if you've ever had to put on an IT hat and help your clients log in, we hope you see this is going to be easier, right? Username and password, of course. But for me, thumbs aren't the easiest thing, particularly on a mobile device. And I want to point out, we obviously work on the web as well as on the phone, but the phone is really a great place to be, right? So logging with Google, people have Gmail, people have Outlook, people have a face, right? We give you a lot of different ways to get in. And we think that Gmail, right, for a lot of users is really quite dominant for people who aren't in the business community as much, right? There's more personal Gmail users. So I just hit Gmail, tap on my account, and it's going to log me in. So this is it. This is Liscio. When they get here, if you think about email is inbox 1000, right? Too much stuff. There's an absolute ton going on. And we talked about Slack earlier today too, right? And I like how Liz put it, right? There's a lot of little wins you can get along the way if you put it together right. Slack is a big stream of consciousness. Stuff just keeps on flying by, right? How do you feel like you got to win? How do you feel like you get to inbox 0? Kind of can't, right? But here we have this idea that, okay, I have an inbox 1, and I have my tasks 3. If I want to sign something, I can just go to a task, pop it open. In this case, tasks have due dates, and they're associated with an account. So if you have an individual you're working with and they have 2 or 3 businesses, different lines of work with you, you can go ahead and organize everything by account type. You can actually type in your message to them as well. Here are the instructions, or here's things you want to know about. And of course, you have an audit trail. So raise your hand if you ever had a client who said, you know what, you never told me that was due. That's why you didn't get it. Right? Yeah, you say, okay, well, I got it in your task list, and I can see that Chris created this for you on November 5th.
Right? It's called selective hearing.
Yeah.
Like they only hear what they want to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, we can defeat that with great organization, right? And we'll just hit review and sign. And this is the idea. If you put all the pieces together for them, they don't have to go click on another sketchy link or anything like that. There's an eDoc right here. They can pop in. Brian said he's sending a lot of these, right? They come in here, they sign with their finger, and off they go, okay? It's that easy. That's what we want to deliver, right? We want to deliver that really easy experience. So I'm gonna pop out of that really quick. The next thing is, you want to get your phone back. You want to get your phone back. I think Brian is really strong on no cell phones. I don't know how Heather, you and Liz are with your cell phones. You're giving out your numbers, but we hear a lot of people have given them up to certain clients. So why don't you help you get them back?
I think we'd also get back our social media accounts too. Because Facebook. Direct messages and pinging you on LinkedIn or pinging you on Facebook or pinging you on Twitter. Yeah.
It's happening all the time. And if you're getting phone photos, people don't have home scanner, especially this year, phone photos. We built this feature for everybody this year. Add attachments, scan document. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just using an iPhone. I'm just gonna hold it up above my desk with one hand. And that's probably not gonna look good, right? In most cases, but we'll make it look great. We'll crop it, we'll rotate it, You know, it's super easy for your clients. This is easier than taking a picture and attaching it to an email. And they can take 10 pictures just like that, and it's all going to come to you in one single PDF, right? So that's what we talk about. We're talking about easy. Can you make it just delightful for your clients to use? So that's it. We'll go ahead and send that over, and we now have a copy of that in our files, okay? I could actually go out here too. If you want to see how that picture looks, got great corners on it, and I can come in here, zoom right in, it's perfectly clear. So of course you don't want them to have to, you know, call you to find their files either. So just like a banking app, just think about your mobile banking app with, you know, you pick it, TD, Bank of America, Chase, anybody. All the files are here. So if they want to find files from a prior year, no problem. They come out here, just like Brian was saying, he has his tag set. So you'll have yours too. What do you want to be? Whatever order, whatever naming convention. But client says, hey, I'm getting a loan. I need my financials from May of last year, right? That's almost always a call back to the firm, right? And they say financials, let's see, last year and month of May, I'll go ahead, hit that. Well, there it is. P&L, statement of cash flows, and the balance sheet, right? Super easy. So that's the idea. Get your phone back, get your clients to self-service. And when this is all happening in the context of, you know, really an invitation-only network. So I saw something
highly secure and highly secure, way more secure than emailing.
Yeah, we're not clicking on links for this, that, and the other thing, right?
Yeah.
And I saw an E&O question kind of go by. So there's a cyber liability insurance kind of deal that people I think were asking about. If you use Liscio, McGowan Insurance, they're one of the top insurers for accounting firms, will give you 20% off your E&O policy. So if you're paying for insurance, you might get a gigantic subsidy, just saying, for using Liscio. So really, really easy. You start to stack the benefits. Okay? So you don't have to pay for a ton of extra storage, don't have to pay for a ton of extra, you know, electronic signatures, and E&O insurance, etc. And so when we put that all together, on your side, you get everything organized. So you have an inbox experience, no spam, no junk mail. You have a task experience, the stuff comes back. We see what's outstanding, when it's due, and who it's assigned to, client and account. And you can always see everything under each account. So Brian was mentioning there's a handoff from implementation to, you know, account management, for example. You can go under each account, and I'm just going to pick City Lights Bookstore. If you want, you can come in here, take a look at the account, and see from a high level all the information, phone numbers, addresses, etc., who's related to it, what tasks are outstanding. So if anybody is out for the day or what have you, they can pick it right up. We're waiting for Form T4. That's the only outstanding task. There's nothing in the review stage from a firm perspective. We have an archive we can always go take a look at. You can see every message. So client calls in and says, hey, you guys FedExed me something. Say, no problem. Let me take a look at that for you right now. Okay, I found it. Here's your tracking number, okay? You can see all the notes. You can see all the files. And if you're doing a lot with clients, we can even store things such as logins. So if you ever had, you know, account credentials, anybody, you know, any of that kind of stuff going back and forth over email or text, forget it. You can put it all here. It's all encrypted at the database level, you know, super, super easy, much better organization. So I went through that pretty quickly, but I hope you got a pretty good gist of how we are working to fit in, right? And, you know, hopefully rationalize all that software you might be kind of patching together.
That's amazing. I'm going to just take a quick second to launch our poll so that those that are looking to learn more about Liscio can answer the poll, and I will forward this list over to you, Chris and Allison. So huge response here. This is fantastic. So I'll send that over to you guys later tonight, and you guys can reach out to the folks that are interested. I'm really interested in Liscio, and I just saw Allison's comment about Zapier, and you know that now I'm like internally doing a gigantic happy dance. But it's interesting because I have been looking at it for my firm, and I think it's fantastic. And I actually use Carbon. And I had thought that Liscio and carbon were like kind of the same thing, but they're totally not. And so Brian, you and I had talked about how you're implementing carbon, you're going to use carbon and Liscio together. And I think that that's brilliant. So, and I'm excited because carbon is also on Zapier and they're working on pumping up their Zapier integration. So I think there's going to be some really cool.
Chris, do you want to give Heather the good news?
We'll have a direct with carbon Q1.
Oh, can I answer
Wow.
Jeff Barth's question live? This is amazing. Can we publish our tax returns from Drake to Liscio? Yes, you can. We didn't talk about, I think the sexiest feature, and I do mean it, the sexiest feature in Liscio we didn't talk about, and there is an ability for you, it's called dispatch. And you can be working in any software you are using, any software that your firm uses, as long as you can print to PDF. So you print to PDF, you drag it into the Liscio dispatch folder, it goes right into the client, you just tag it and go. So yes, Jeff, you can directly in via Liscio dispatch. So you actually get a lot of, Chris called it the vacuum. You get a lot of vacuuming in via dispatch. Here he is, he's going to show you using a 1040 form.
Yeah, it's just
Real quick, I'm just going to count down the poll so that I can close that out and they can see.
Okay.
5,
Oh,
4, 3, 2.
fill it in, guys.
Last chance. Fantastic. I'll send that list over to you guys later. Sorry.
So Chris is tell Chris tell them what you're doing, Chris.
So I'm just in any, you can be in any software, right? I'm just on the web. I'm taking a US 1040 and I just did a save of that, save to PDF. What will happen is it'll take this PDF, it's going to upload it into us, and then it's going to give us the ability to say whom we'd like to either send it to or associate it with. So I'm going to send it to Jane at Jane's Real Estate here. If I want, I can make it private, which means firm only. But you want to tag things for your clients, right? So I can say this is a 2019 month of December tax file, okay? And say, hi, Jane, here is your draft return from Drake. Have a look. Of course, we wouldn't say that, but just for illustrative purposes, hit upload, that's it. You've categorized your file, you put it in Liscio, and you've notified your client. That's it, all in one step.
So Jeff, I'm assuming that Drake can print to PDF.
Print client copy, PDF, you're done.
Yes, it can, he's saying. So there you go, boom, boom, boom.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, Liscio Dispatch was
there it
only
is.
released in October, and it's one of these things that people kind of have to wrap their brain around it. And when I saw that, I was like, that is super sexy.
We add machine learning to it this month. Machine learning will help you automatically tag everything.
Yeah. So we hope you guys are really interested. We really want to talk with everybody and show them how you can streamline your life, make your life easier, and move to being a client experience 2.0 firm. And I'm actually working as the marketing director. I'm working on a little badge that you'll be able to put on your website saying you're a client experience 2.0 firm, just like a TWN badge that I gave Heather and Liz all those years ago. Yeah, we love our badges, don't we?
We do. You know us so well. What is it about it? I mean, like, even I was a Girl Scout and I liked my badges then.
It's an acknowledgement of your specialness. What it is.
I don't know. I think it's amazing though.
Very cool. We actually have a badge for you guys if you want it, as that you've been on Happy Hour. So
yes, please.
You guys want that?
Oh, you bet. Oh my gosh. Does Brian get one too? Brian gets one too, right?
Brian can get one too. Absolutely. Of course. So just a last couple of slides for us. I know we went a little over. You guys are amazing. You guys always stay with us right up to the end, and I love you all for it. So our coolest thing is Liz and I went a little swag happy this year, and we have a couple of things to announce. First of all, this is going to be the 3rd year that we're doing the gingerbread house competition. So for those of you that have participated in that in the past, you're definitely going to be watching your social media and your email for news about our gingerbread house competition. And we have some great prizes. We have some great sponsors for it this year. We have Liscio is sponsoring a prize. We have ADP sponsoring a prize, and we have Intuit sponsoring a prize. There's gonna be great prizes. You'll learn more about those over the next couple of days.
Liscio is doing $100 Visa card. I mean, like, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
like
Yeah, ours is
cash
money.
I
Yeah,
know.
ours is money. But we have cool swag too. Maybe we'll put like a swag item in as well, like a surprise swag item, because we actually have really cool swag.
I'm looking forward to seeing the houses.
Right.
This
Me
seems like
me
houses.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Heather, what else did we create?
So we also created, like on your screen, you can see that we created some holiday happy hour graphics, and we have actually ordered a bunch of Christmas ornaments that will be arriving here this week. And so if you participate in the gingerbread house contest, you will win an ornament. We'll send you an ornament. So
And to mark this momentous year.
mark this momentous year, yes. All the things that we can remember. And right smack in the middle is my favorite one, which is that big old heart with the hug, with all of us in this together. So the other kind of cool thing, and I published a little bit about it last in social media, is we now have a merchandise store. We don't make any money off it. We just thought it was cool. So we were partnering with Logo Software, which is actually clothing, to allow people to purchase happy hour swag if they want to. And we actually put this design up. So if you wanted to go and get a shirt or whatever, you could do that. And I'll publish that on it's on our Facebook page, but I'll publish it on our website as well. So if you're interested in doing that, you can get some t-shirts. Make sure that you guys check out our website. We have some cool stuff out there, our drink recipes, read our blog. You can find out more about our amazing guests that come on the show, and you can view every single episode. We now have over 35 episodes now up on our website. So we've had so many amazing app friends on our show. So definitely check that out. Liz, you want to take us out?
I want to just say thank you to everybody who has been with us all year. Thank you for being with us today. It's always so much fun. I really enjoy having the cocktail, kicking back and learning stuff. It's awesome. So make sure to continue to join us. Here's some ways to connect with us. Many of you know Facebook and our group where we have our Facebook lounge. So, and then Heather, do you want to show what's coming up next? Yep, Fathom is going to be joining us.
They're going to join us on January 12th with a very, very special guest. I'm so excited. I literally just got off a meeting with them talking about this amazing episode. We have Jeannie Whitehouse, who's going to be coming on the show with us on January 12th, talking to us about advisory and giving us a demo of Fathom and how she uses it with her clients. On the 26th, we have ADP. They're going to be talking about their PEO services that they offer. So understanding what that is and how that can help your small business clients to support their employees and also save money on benefits. And then on February 9th, we're going to have auto review. If you haven't heard about auto review, you're going to have your mind blown. It's a way for you to review your QuickBooks data in a way that you've never seen before. And then on the 23rd of February, we have Relay Finance, which is a new way to do banking, which is really exciting. So we have a lot of really great episodes coming up. We also have one that's not on here. Liz, we totally messed that up, but we'll totally tell everybody about it on social media. It's on the 22nd of December. Liz and I are going to do a recap of apps that we would like, or that we think that people should be looking out for in 2021. So we're going to count down technology that we think that everybody should keep an eye on. And we're also going to do a little bit of celebrating. It's the end of the year and we want to celebrate with all of you, all of our friends. So please do make a note of that. We'll be sending out invitations. You'll get that if you've registered for a regular webinar, you'll get an invitation to that as well. So
absolutely. The only thing I'll say to that is that, with so much growth and change in 2020, the technology has just really grown too. So it'll be fun to join us on the 22nd for our review of apps. Absolutely,
100%. Super excited. That's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much, Allison and Chris and Brian. This has been a ton of fun and I learned a lot, and I'm even more pumped now to get Liscio in my own firm. So we got to make that happen.
Well, we promise to make it very easy for anybody who wants to make it happen.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
Yeah, we
we'd
thank
love
you for
to
the
have you.
opportunity. Yeah, it's been wonderful
Yeah.
coming
And-
on, and yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Brian, for sharing your experience. We really, really appreciate it. We did not compensate Brian for this, by the way. We actually didn't know who was going to come on and for our customer side, which was really nice. So it was a nice surprise. So thank you, Brian.
All
Absolutely.
good. I like talking about apps that I like. So
Yeah. We'll send you some nice swag. So
I accept your offer.
you accept the swag. Awesome. We'll be in
if
touch.
you enter the gingerbread house, you might get that $100 gift card. Just saying.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
We
Challenge
expect
accepted.
greatness. We're expecting greatness on that.
I kind of want the ornament though. I want like the ornament if I'm thinking about entering just for the ornament.
It's just it's a wild year, so
Yeah.
we just thought it'd be fun to make something to celebrate
Yeah.
and commiserate.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you on the 22nd.
Bye, everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.